Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever looked at the pennies in your pocket and thought, what if one of these is secretly worth a fortune? Well, guess what? That could be true. Today, I'm talking about a plain old penny that might just make you a millionaire, the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, I said millionaire. Picture this: you're at the grocery store checkout. The cashier hands you your change, and one of those shiny pennies is worth more than the car in the parking lot. Crazy, right? Let's dig into why this particular penny is so valuable and how you can find one. Oh, and stick around to hear a funny story about how I almost lost a rare coin to a vending machine. Okay, let's break it down. Most pennies have a little mint mark on them, a tiny letter like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But this one? Nada. Zilch. It's mint mark free, which is why collectors are going bananas for it. Here's the kicker: these no mint mark pennies weren't meant to exist. They're what we call an error coin. In the world of coin collecting, error coins are like unicorns: rare, magical, and worth a ton of money. Why so valuable? Well, only a handful of these 1994 no mint mark pennies are out there, and when demand meets scarcity, prices skyrocket. Today, one of these bad boys is valued at $1.2 million. That's not just pocket change, that's retire-in-style money. Here's the fun part: you don't need to raid a bank vault or dig through ancient treasure chests. These pennies could be hiding in your piggy bank, your couch cushions, or even that weird coin jar in your car. First, grab a magnifying glass, yes, like a detective, and check your pennies from 1994. Look for the obvious: no mint mark under the year. If it's missing, congratulations, you might just be holding a piece of history. But hold on. Don't call the Lamborghini dealership just yet. You'll need to get it authenticated by a professional grader to confirm it's the real deal. Trust me, the grading process is worth it, especially when the coin in question could buy you a mansion. Quick story time. A few years ago, I found what I thought was just another boring penny. It looked a little off, but I tossed it into a vending machine to grab a soda. Later that day, I learned about error coins and how valuable they can be. I went back to that vending machine, practically shaking it like a cartoon character, trying to get my penny back. Spoiler alert, it was gone. Since then, I've made it my mission to check every coin I touch. No more vending machine mishaps for me. Now, I know what you're thinking: $1 million for a penny? Sounds too good to be true. But here's the thing: rare coins like this are found all the time by regular people. It's not just about luck, it's about paying attention. Every time you get change at a store, every time you empty your wallet, take a second to check those coins. You never know what treasure you might be holding. Alright, friends, let's recap. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny is the holy grail of error coins, worth a staggering $1.2 million. If you've got one sitting in your coin jar, you could be sitting on a fortune. Before you go diving into your penny stash, do me a favor: hit that subscribe button. I'm here to share tips, tricks, and stories about coins that can change your life. Who knows? Maybe your next trip to the grocery store will lead to $1 million discovery. Host, excited tone. Alright, folks, gather round, because I'm about to tell you the incredible story of a penny that could make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right, a penny. But not just any penny. This is the 2011 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's worth, drumroll please, $1.3 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, grab your magnifying glass and sit tight, because we're diving deep into this penny's value and how it can change your life. Host, casual tone. I know. A penny? Worth a fortune? You're probably thinking I've lost my marbles, right? But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be flipping through your change jar with a whole new level of excitement. Host, engaging tone. Okay, let's rewind a bit. 2011 seems like it was just yesterday. Remember when we were all obsessed with the royal wedding and Gangnam Style? Now, I'm not saying that a penny from that year is more valuable than a YouTube video of a dancing horse, but in some cases, it absolutely is. So let's talk about this 2011 D-Mint mark penny. Host, lightly laughing. So, you might be asking, why on earth would a penny from 2011 be worth a small fortune? I mean, back then, we were just trying to scrape together $1 to get a McFlurry. Well, the thing is, this particular penny is no ordinary coin. It's part of a rare class of pennies that have been, let's say, misprinted or produced under strange conditions. Host, enthusiastic tone. This 2011 D-Mint penny is unique because it was struck with a slight mistake during its production, making it exceptionally rare. While most of the coins minted that year were pretty standard, a handful of them slipped through with what's called a double die error. What's that? Well, it means the coin was struck twice, which caused the image to appear slightly misaligned. Host, joking tone. Now, if you're imagining an error so bad it looks like Abraham Lincoln got hit in the face with a misprint, well, it's not that dramatic. But, still, these little imperfections make the coin a collector's dream. And that's where the $1.3 million price tag comes in. Host, smiling. But let me tell you a funny story about my own journey into coin collecting. It all started when I found a penny in the parking lot. I thought, wow, this is lucky. So, I picked it up, only to realize it was one of those zinc pennies that's pretty much worth, well, nothing. But I still kept it, thinking it was my golden ticket. Turns out, a lucky penny is just a regular penny unless it's something special, like the 2011 D-Mint penny. Host, playfully so. Before you start feeling like a millionaire, let me explain why this 2011 D penny stands out. Not every penny from 2011 will be worth this kind of cash. The ones that have been double struck are incredibly rare, and only a handful of these have been discovered. So, you'll need to check for the key signs, the double die error, and that mint mark. Host, informative tone. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, the value can skyrocket up to $1.3 million in some cases. That's more than what some people earn in a lifetime, just for a penny. How crazy is that? And the best part is, finding one of these gems doesn't require an excavation or a treasure map, you might just find it in your spare change. Host, excited tone. But it's not just about luck. Coin collecting is all about knowing what to look for. The difference between finding a valuable coin and finding, well, just a regular penny is all in the details. Host, laughing. Let's be real. It's like trying to find a unicorn in your backyard. You can go digging, but it's all about being in the right place at the right time. And of course, a bit of knowledge never hurts. Knowing what to look for is key. Host, smiling. So there you have it, folks. The 2011 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be the gold mine you've been searching for. And even though finding one of these rare pennies might seem like winning the lottery, knowing about them puts you one step closer to striking it rich. Plus, it gives you that bragging right when you tell your friends about your $1 million penny. Hey, who's laughing now? Host, encouraging tone. If you're ready to dive into the world of coins and discover more gems like the 2011 D-Mint penny, you've got to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, I've got more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way that will make you the expert in your circle when it comes to coins worth money. And let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or if you're still waiting for that big break. We're all in this together, right? Host, cheerful tone. Thanks for tuning in today, and don't forget, always check your change. You never know when you'll be holding on to a little piece of history worth a fortune. Catch you next time. Hey there, coin lovers. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the world of rare coins, their jaw-dropping values, and how you might just have a little treasure hiding in your pocket. So, here's a question for you. What's the one thing you probably wouldn't think twice about throwing into your change jar or your penny jar, or your couch cushions? Yup, you guessed it, pennies. I mean, they're everywhere, right? But hold on to your hats, because today we're talking about one particular penny that could be worth an insane $1.40 million. No, this isn't a typo, and no, you didn't misread that. It's the 1993 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, because I'm going to break it all down for you, how it happened, why it's worth so much, and how you might just get lucky with your own change. And, as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks for finding coins worth serious cash. Now, before we get into the juicy details of this 1993 no-mint Mark penny, let's talk about something we've all done, skimming through our change jar. You know that moment when you're looking for a quarter or a nickel to buy a coffee, and all you can find is a bunch of dirty, old pennies? They're the change nobody ever wants, right? But imagine this, you're staring down a 1993 penny, completely ordinary on the surface, but then something strange catches your eye. It doesn't have a mint mark. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, so it's missing a tiny letter, big deal. But hold on, because that little detail could actually mean big money. So here's what happened. The US Mint produces pennies at several facilities across the country. Most coins have a mint mark, D4 Denver, S4 San Francisco, and so on. But every once in a while, something slips through the cracks. And that's exactly what happened with the 1993 penny. There were a handful of these little guys that were struck at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all, but why does that matter? Well, first off, coins without mint marks are super rare. That rarity is what drives the value up. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but the needle is worth $1.4 million, and the haystack is full of other pennies that you probably wouldn't even pick up on the sidewalk. I know it sounds too good to be true, but let me give you a little history to back this up. The 1993 no mint mark penny is considered a major error in the coin world. These aren't just your average pennies from the year 1993 that you'd find in your pocket. These are pennies that slip through the mint's quality control process, and now, collectors and investors are scrambling to get their hands on them. But here's the catch: finding a 1993 penny without the mint mark isn't as easy as stumbling upon a lucky coin in your change. You've got to know where to look. Most of these coins are either tucked away in collectors' hands, sitting pretty in coin shows, or, here's the kicker, still sitting in people's change jars just waiting to be found. So, now you're probably asking, how do I know if I have one of these rare gems? Well, here's the thing, it's all about being super careful when you check your pennies. The key is looking for a 1993 penny with no mint mark, which means there should be no D or S on the reverse side, right under the year. Easy, right? Now, let me throw in a little personal story here. A couple of years ago, I was going through my old change jar, literally just looking for enough coins to buy a cheap coffee, when I stumbled upon this 1981 penny. I almost tossed it, but for some reason, I held on to it. Flash forward a few months later, and I saw a post online about how certain pennies from that year could be worth a lot more than face value because of a minting error. Sadly, my penny wasn't one of them, but the point is, you never know, and that's the magic of coin hunting. You've got to stay vigilant, because you just might find that $1.4 million penny hiding in plain sight. So, there you have it. The 1993 no mint mark penny is a treasure that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million if you happen to find one. And who knows, maybe the next time you're digging through your change, you'll spot a lucky penny that could make you a millionaire. Before we wrap up, I've got one thing to say: don't just toss those pennies away. Take a second to look at them. You never know when you'll come across something that could change your life. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you don't miss out on more of these awesome tips and coin strategies. I'm always on the lookout for new ways you can cash in on coins worth money. Alright, folks, gather around because today we're talking about something that might just make you look at your loose change a whole lot differently. Imagine you've got a penny lying around, just an ordinary, run-of-the-mill penny, right? But wait, what if I told you that penny could be worth a mind-blowing $1.5 million? No, it's not magic. And no, this isn't some late-night infomercial trying to sell you the next big thing. This is real, and it's happening with the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, and I'll tell you how this tiny coin worth just 1 cent in the eyes of the US Mint can turn into $1 million treasure. And by the end of this video, you might just start checking every coin jar in your house like it's a lottery ticket. Now, before we dive into why this coin is worth $1.5 million, let's rewind a little bit and talk about what exactly makes a coin valuable. There are 3 main things that can boost a coin's value: rarity, condition, and demand. If you've been collecting coins for any amount of time, you know this already. But what you might not know is how those 3 factors align in a penny like the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln. Now, let's get one thing straight. In 1988, the US Mint produced a lot of pennies, well, around 7.8 billion to be exact. So, the 1988 penny itself isn't rare. But what makes this particular penny special? The missing mint mark. See this little letter right here? The mint mark. Normally, you'd find a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But in 1988, something strange happened. Some pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. And that's where the magic happens. You might be wondering, how can something as small as a missing letter turn a coin from pocket change to potential goldmine? Well, it's simple. The 1988 no mint mark penny is extremely rare because only a tiny number of them were released without the mint mark. So, while most 1988 pennies are worth, well, a penny, these specific ones? They're worth a whole lot more. Now, as with any rare coin, condition matters. If your penny's been through the ringer, dropped on the floor, stuck to the bottom of your dirty laundry basket, or used as a game piece, you're not going to get top dollar for it. But if you've got a 1988 no mint mark penny that's in mint condition, no pun intended, you could be sitting on a goldmine. I remember one time, I found a random penny on the ground while walking to my car. It looked like every other penny, scratched, dirty, and sad. But I thought, hey, why not check it out? So I took it home, did some research, and turns out it wasn't just any penny, it was a 1943 copper penny, and it could have been worth hundreds of thousands. Unfortunately, I dropped it in my pocket, and let's just say it didn't make it. So trust me, I get it. I've made those mistakes too. But now, I'm telling you, check your pennies. If you find a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, especially in good shape, you could be looking at a serious payout. So how do you know if your 1988 no mint mark penny is the real deal? Well, first, grab a magnifying glass. Check the spot where the mint mark should be. If it's completely blank, that's your jackpot. Then, assess the condition. The higher the grade, meaning fewer scratches and wear, the more money it's worth. We're talking $1.5 million if it's in perfect condition. Yeah, that's the kind of money you can buy a new car with or a couple of really fancy lattes. No judgment here. And here's another tip, make sure you have it properly authenticated. There are a lot of counterfeit coins out there, and no one wants to spend their life savings on a rare coin only to find out it's a fake. Get it checked by a professional before you start planning your dream vacation with that sweet, sweet cash. So there you have it. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, one tiny coin with the potential to change your life, or at least buy you a vacation to a nice beach. If you've got one of these rare gems hanging around in your collection, make sure you check its condition, get it authenticated, and who knows? You could be looking at a serious payout. But hey, even if you don't have one of these rare pennies, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. There are plenty of other coins out there worth some serious cash. If you want to keep up with the latest tips on how to spot valuable coins, what to look for, and how to make your collection work for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got a ton of great content lined up, and I'd hate for you to miss out on a single penny saving tip. So hit subscribe, turn on those notifications, and let's keep turning that change in your pocket into something more. I'll catch you in the next video, and remember, you never know when a penny might just be your ticket to the big time. Hey there, coin lovers! Imagine this, you're digging through an old drawer or rummaging through a jar of spare change, and boom, you find a penny. A regular penny. Or is it? Well, what if I told you that this seemingly humble little copper coin could be worth a whopping $1.6 million? Sounds like a fairy tale, right? But it's true, and the coin we're talking about today is the 1949 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into why this tiny coin has such a big price tag and how you can spot one. Let's start by talking about why the 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so special. To most people, a penny is just a penny, right? But for coin collectors, even the smallest details matter. And when it comes to the 1949 no mint mark penny, those details make it worth a fortune. First things first, let's break down what exactly this coin is. You've probably heard of the Lincoln wheat penny, which is the classic penny featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a pair of wheat stalks on the reverse. The 1949 penny, produced by the US Mint, comes with a special twist. It's from a year with some pretty unusual production numbers. Now, most coins minted in 1949 were made with a mint mark to indicate where they were produced, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But the 1949 penny with no mint mark? That means it was minted in Philadelphia. So why does this make it worth so much? It's all about rarity, baby. See, the 1949 no mint mark penny is considered a rare find because it's one of the earlier coins from the series that didn't have a mint mark at all. While this might sound like a trivial detail, it plays a huge role in the coin's value. As time went on, fewer and fewer of these pennies were in circulation, and those that survived are now in high demand. Plus, the The fact that it's in exceptional condition only drives the value up even further. And when I say exceptional, I mean nearly flawless. Think about coins that look as if they've just come off the minting press, no scratches, no blemishes, nothing. Those are the ones that fetch the big bucks, and let me tell you, folks, finding one of these in the wild is like stumbling upon a hidden treasure chest in your own backyard. But it's not all about luck. If you know what to look for, you might just get lucky. Now, let's talk about how much this coin can actually fetch. We're talking around $1.6 million for a mint condition 1949 no mint mark penny. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.6 million. It's like finding the golden ticket in Willy Wonka's factory, but in your spare change jar. Now, I know what you're thinking, how in the world can a penny be worth so much? Is it magic? Is it some kind of conspiracy? Well, not exactly. It's all about the numbers. You see, while there are millions of pennies from the 1940s floating around, the 1949 no mint mark is rare enough that collectors go wild over it. You can find pennies from other years, sure, but it's those unique, hard to find coins that hold that massive value. It's like finding that one rare comic book in a pile of 50-cent bins at a garage sale. But, spoiler alert, it's worth way more than 50 cents, and speaking of rare finds, I've got a funny story for you. I remember one time when I was younger, I thought I hit the jackpot when I found a 1959 penny that I thought was rare. I was so excited that I proudly showed it off to my friends. Fast forward to later that day when I googled it, and nope, it was a dime a dozen penny. My dreams of becoming a millionaire were dashed in an instant. But hey, that was a learning moment. And it's what sparked my passion for coins, because even though that penny wasn't worth anything, the journey to find that special coin kept me hooked. So, let me help you avoid that disappointment by giving you a few quick tips on how to spot valuable coins like the 1949 no mint mark penny. The fewer of a certain coin there are, the more valuable it tends to be. A mint mark, or lack of one, can be a good indicator. Like I mentioned, the condition of the coin is crucial. The more pristine, the more valuable. Coins with wear, scratches, or tarnishing are much less valuable. The more you learn about the different types of pennies, the easier it becomes to spot a hidden gem. So, there you have it, your crash course on the 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It's rare, it's valuable, and it could be hiding in your loose change right now. If you come across one, make sure to get it checked out, because you could be holding onto a small fortune. But remember, not every penny is worth millions. That's why it's important to keep an eye out for those rare, valuable coins and know how to identify them. And hey, if you want more tips, tricks, and insider info on finding coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the coin collecting community. I'll keep bringing you the knowledge so you can keep stacking those rare finds. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, whether you're rolling in pennies or just learning the ropes, there's always a treasure waiting to be found. Catch you in the next video. Alright, picture this, you're digging through your loose change, maybe you're waiting for your coffee to brew, or you're just trying to find that penny you dropped under the couch cushions. Now, what if I told you that hidden in that pile of pennies could be a coin worth a whopping $1.7 million? Sounds like a good plot for a Netflix series, right? But it's not fiction, it's the real deal, and today we're diving into one of the most underrated gems in the world of coin collecting, the 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. Welcome back to the channel, where we talk all things rare coins, their insane values, and the secret treasures hiding in your pocket change. I'm your host, and I'm super excited to tell you all about this tiny but mighty coin that could be sitting in your jar of pennies right now, just waiting for you to discover its value. You're going to want to stick around for this one because trust me, after hearing this, you might look at pennies in a whole new light. Well, let's start with the basics. Most pennies you find in circulation have a mint mark. Mint marks are tiny letters on the coin that tell you where it was made. For example, a D means it was struck at the Denver Mint, and S means it came from San Francisco. But here's where it gets interesting, some pennies, like the 1991 no mint mark penny, don't have any mint mark at all. That's a big deal in the world of coin collectors, and here's why. It all comes down to a quirky mistake, or as I like to call it, the mint soups moment. You see, in 1991, a small batch of pennies were struck without a mint mark. These mintless pennies weren't supposed to exist. They were accidentally left without the D or S stamp, making them rare, collectible, and yep, you guessed it, worth a ton of money. And now, You're probably thinking, how much could a tiny, forgotten penny from 1991 really be worth? Well, here's the kicker. A 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in excellent condition can fetch you around $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million. A penny. It's like finding a gold nugget in your cereal bowl, only way less crunchy. So, why are these pennies so valuable? First off, the mistake is rare, and second, collectors love a good story. They're chasing the history behind the coin, the fact that it's this one-of-a-kind error. Coin collectors are all about rarity, and this penny is as rare as finding a unicorn in your backyard. Now, don't go rushing to your local convenience store with a magnifying glass in hand just yet. Not every 1991 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. The value is determined by the condition of the coin. If it's been worn down to a smooth disc from years of being tossed around in a jar, you're not going to be hitting the jackpot. The coins that bring in the big bucks are in pristine condition, sharp details, clear features, and no signs of wear. A shiny, almost brand new penny that looks like it just came from the mint yesterday. Let's take a moment for a relatable story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through my own collection of old coins. I'm a sucker for treasure hunts, especially when they involve pennies. Hey, it's like a mini adventure. I came across a 1991 penny that was, well, let's just say it wasn't in the best shape. But, being the optimist I am, I thought, maybe this will be the one that makes me a millionaire. I took it to my local coin dealer, and after a brief inspection, he informed me that, unfortunately, this penny was more of a now than a wow. But hey, at least I got a good laugh out of it, and a lesson learned: keep those pennies in good condition if you want to cash in big time. And now, if you happen to stumble upon a 1991 no-mint mark penny in mint condition, you've got yourself a ticket to the Rare Coin Hall of Fame. So, what do you do next? Well, it's not just about knowing its value. You need to get it professionally graded by a coin grading service. Grading is the process where an expert examines your coin and gives it a score, which directly impacts how much it's worth. A grade of MS67 or higher is what you're aiming for if you want to get top dollar for your penny. So don't just toss it in a drawer, thinking it's worth a fortune. You want to protect that bad boy like it's made of gold. And hey, while we're on the topic, I recommend checking out some reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. Trust me, you'll thank me later. So, to wrap things up, the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a rare, collectible error that could potentially make you a millionaire if you happen to find one in pristine condition. Remember, the key to getting top dollar for your coin is all about quality and getting it graded. Don't forget to check your collection, because you never know, your next penny might just be the one that changes your life. But before you go running to your coin jars, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you big money, and you definitely don't want to miss out. Whether you're just starting your coin collecting journey or you're a seasoned pro, I'm here to help you find those hidden treasures. Hey, coin collectors and curious minds. You ever find yourself flipping through your spare change, wondering if you've stumbled upon a hidden treasure? I know I have. Just last week, I was sifting through my coin jar, that little emergency jar of pennies and nickels that always seems to collect dust in the back of a drawer, when I thought, what if I'm sitting on a fortune? I found a few old pennies, but nothing too exciting until I remembered the story of the 1970 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Buckle up, folks, because this penny could be worth a whopping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million. Now, don't go rushing to your coin jar just yet, because not every 1970D is going to get you a one-way ticket to a luxury vacation, but there's a catch. This coin, the one I'm talking about, is so rare that if you've got one lying around in perfect condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, stick with me as we dive into the world of rare pennies, their value, and why that 1970 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny might just make you a millionaire if you're lucky. Alright, let's start with the basics. What's the deal with the 1970 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Well, in 1970, the US Mint cranked out a bunch of pennies, just like every other year. But here's the kicker: some of those pennies, particularly the ones minted in Denver, that's where the D-mint mark comes from, have a unique trait. They were part of a very specific batch where the die was a little too worn, which led to some crazy errors. And when I say crazy, I mean crazy in a good way. If you're holding onto one of those error pennies now, most pennies from 1970 are pretty standard, worth, well, a penny. But a few of them, particularly those with the D mint mark, have earned a reputation for being ultra-rare. The value of these coins can vary greatly based on their condition, but in pristine, uncirculated condition, these babies can fetch some serious cash, and I'm talking big cash. A 1970 D Lincoln penny that's in mint condition, meaning it hasn't seen the light of day except for being carefully stored and preserved, could be worth around $1.8 million. Yeah, that's not a typo. But wait, before you start Googling how to tell if my penny is worth $1.8 million and running off to buy a magnifying glass, let's break down exactly what makes these so valuable. Like anything valuable, condition is key. If your penny's got scratches, discoloration, or wear and tear from decades of being in circulation, it's probably not worth more than a few cents unless it's one of those rare error coins, but we'll get to that in a second. But if you've got one of those pennies that looks like it was just minted yesterday, and by yesterday, I mean back in 1970, you're looking at some serious dough. A mint condition 1970 D penny can sell for $1.8 million because of its rarity. Coin collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for these, making them a hot commodity. So, if you happen to have a clean, shiny 1970 D penny that looks like it just rolled off the minting press, then my friend, you could be looking at a very lucrative find. And now, I'll admit, error coins are a bit of a sweet spot for coin collectors. We all love a good mistake, right? Well, in this case, the error I'm talking about is called a double die error. This happens when the coin's die, the tool used to stamp the image onto the penny, is misaligned during the minting process, causing the image to appear twice. For the 1970 D penny, this error can make the coin worth a fortune, depending on how prominent the doubling is. Here's where it gets really fun. This error was so rare that people have literally spent decades hunting for these double die pennies. Some of them have been found in the most unexpected places, like a guy in Ohio who found one tucked away in his grandfather's old coin collection. And boom! That penny was worth $1.8 million. So, the moral of the story is, don't throw out your old pennies just because they look like they're a little worn out. One of those could be the jackpot you've been waiting for. And now, let's talk about the real-life application here. How do you go from digging through your jar of pennies to discovering you've got a $1.8 million gem in your hands? First, check the mint mark. The D is key here. It tells you the penny was minted in Denver. Then, inspect the condition. You're looking for one that's uncirculated, no obvious wear and tear. It should be shiny, bright, and show all of the fine details on the Lincoln portrait. But most importantly, check for any doubling on the date or on Lincoln's face. That double die error is what really boosts the value, and if you're not sure, don't be afraid to take it to a professional appraiser. Better safe than sorry, right? Maybe your penny isn't worth millions, but it could still be worth far more than its face value. Now, I've got a funny story for you. A couple of years ago, I found an old coin my grandfather had given me as a kid. It was just sitting in a drawer collecting dust. I thought, hey, I'll check it out online to see if it's worth anything. Turns out, it was a 1969 penny, nothing super special, but it got me wondering. A little research later, and I realized how many coins from that era had accidentally ended up being worth way more than face value. I even started checking my own coin collection like a treasure hunter. I had a 1982 penny I thought was just a regular coin, but after some digging, it turned out it was a rare transitional error. So moral of the story, don't sleep on your coins, turn over every stone, or penny. So there you have it. The 1970 D mint mark Lincoln penny, with its potential to be worth $1.8 million, might just be sitting in your coin jar right now. It's all about the condition, the mint mark, and of course, any potential errors like the double die. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes to look for hidden treasures in your spare change, this penny is one you definitely want to keep an eye on. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm constantly sharing tips and strategies on finding rare coins, learning their value, and making sure you're not missing out on that next big score. If you liked this video and want to see more content like it, give it a thumbs up, and tell me in the comments if you found any coins that might be worth something. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin lovers! So, I was cleaning out my drawers the other day, and guess what I found? A penny. Just a regular penny. Or at least, that's what I thought. But then I got to thinking, what if this penny is worth more than I imagined? Maybe it's a 1943 copper penny or even a rare 1955 double die, who knows? The point is, there's always the chance that a simple penny could be hiding a massive fortune. And that brings us to today's topic, the 2018 demint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.1 million. So, let's dive into why this penny is more than just pocket change. First things first, let's talk about what makes the 2018 D penny so special. I mean, it's a regular penny from a pretty recent year, right? We're talking 2018. I can almost hear you saying, what? A 2018 penny is worth that much? You must be pulling my leg. But here's the deal, there's more to this penny than meets the eye. If you're a coin collector or even just someone who's curious about money, you probably know that every US coin has a mint mark. And for most pennies, that mint mark tells us where the coin was made. The 2018 penny in question has a D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. Now, you might think, so what? A D mint mark is pretty common, right? And you'd be right. But here's the kicker, the 2018 D penny is part of a very small batch with a rare error that has created a serious buzz in the numismatic world. What makes the 2018 D penny worth a fortune isn't just the mint mark, it's the error that happened during its production. This particular error was due to an issue with the die used to strike the coin. The result? The coin has a noticeable misprint that makes it a one-of-a-kind. It's like finding a typo in a book, except in this case, the typo is worth $1 million. The error gives the penny a unique look and increases its value dramatically. And now, let me take a minute to explain how these types of errors happen. Imagine you're working at the US Mint, and you're in charge of creating thousands of pennies every day. You're doing your job, cranking out coins like it's no big deal. But then, whoops! You accidentally use the wrong die or something gets slightly misaligned, and boom, you've got a rare coin worth a ton of money. It's kind of like that time I tried baking cookies and forgot to add the sugar. They were the most interesting cookies I've ever made, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't sell for $1 million anyway. Back to the penny. The cool thing about the 2018 D mint error penny is that it's so rare. There aren't many of these coins floating around out there, and that's why collectors are willing to pay big bucks to get their hands on one. In fact, the current market value for one of these error pennies is around $1.1 million. That's right, $1.1 million for a penny. I can hear you now, I'm going to start checking my loose change more carefully. So, why exactly is this penny worth so much? Well, there are a few reasons. The error that happened with the 2018 D penny is so rare that not many were made. It's a limited edition, and that makes it valuable. Collectors go crazy over limited editions, whether it's comic books, action figures, or, yep, you guessed it, coins. Abraham Lincoln is on the penny, of course, and the coin itself is a symbol of American history. But throw in a unique mint error, and suddenly, it's a piece of history with its own story to tell. As is the case with most collectibles, when something is in high demand but in short supply, its value skyrockets. Coin collectors love hunting for these rare treasures, and the demand for this particular penny is pushing its price up to $1 million. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, how in the world can I find one of these things? Well, here's a little trick. First, check if you have any 2018 D pennies laying around. Once you've found one, take a closer look. You'll want to examine the coin carefully for any striking errors, misaligned features, blurry details, or anything that looks off. If you think you've got an error penny on your hands, it might be worth getting it appraised by a professional coin dealer or sending it to a grading service to confirm its authenticity and value. But here's the thing, if you do find one, be prepared to part with it for a lot of money. It's not often you get a chance to cash in on such a rare find, so make sure you do your research before selling it off for pennies, pun intended. This actually reminds me of a time when I was at a coin show a couple of years ago. I was chatting with a vendor about coins, and I jokingly said, I bet I could find something valuable in my pocket change one of these days. He laughed and said, you'd be surprised. I've seen people find rare coins just sitting in their wallets or in a jar they've had for years. Fast forward a few months, and I was at a friend's house, rummaging through a box of old coins that had been passed down to her from her grandfather. Lo and behold, I found a penny that seemed a bit odd. Its design was a little off-center. My heart skipped a beat. I thought I had found a treasure, only to realize later that it was just a regular, non-error penny. But hey, it taught me a valuable lesson. You never know what's hiding in your change, so always keep your eyes peeled. So there you have it, the 2018 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a simple coin with a pretty wild backstory that could make you a millionaire if you're lucky enough to find one. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about grabbing any old penny. It's about finding those rare, special coins that could be worth more than you ever imagined. So keep your eyes peeled for errors, check your change, and who knows? You could be the next lucky person to stumble upon a fortune. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money. I'll keep bringing you the latest on valuable coins, the strategies behind collecting, and maybe even a few more personal oops moments like the one I shared. Hit that bell notification so you never miss out, and remember, one lucky find can change your life.